Tesla has applied some more price cuts on their cheapest models, the Model Y, but this time a little bit differently, okay? I'm not gonna do a video every single time they make a slight price adjustment, but this one, they're being a little bit more transparent on the timeline of the price reduction, which I find kind of fascinating. So this applies to the two most popular Tesla Model Y options, the rear-wheel drive, which now starts just over $35,000, assuming you qualify for the tax credit, which is point of sale, meaning they reduce that $7,500 from what you owe at the time you take delivery. It's considered a direct payment, and they're listing that right on the website now. The long-range Model Y as well, which is just an incredible value. Big battery pack, fast charging speed, all-wheel drive, dual motor. It's just a fantastic vehicle, now starting just over $40,000. Holy crap. Even factoring in inflation, this is cheaper than the originally promised Model Y unveil pricing. It's weird, right? When Tesla actually surpasses the unveil expectations. Hopefully the Cybertruck gets there one day. But okay, great, there's price cuts. The weird thing is Tesla's saying that these $1,000 price reductions are only good for the rest of February, and the price of these two Model Ys will go back up again by $1,000 on March 1st. This is awfully bizarre to me. It's the first time Tesla has actually publicly stated that there will be a price increase after this reduction within a couple of weeks. And I'm guessing that Tesla, kind of the analogy that Elon pitched in the past, has a better way of checking the pulse of the buying market than any other automaker, because most legacy automakers are kind of forced to go through the dealership model, and a lot of them consider their vehicles sold as soon as they're delivered to dealers, and of course that doesn't really count. So they don't really know exactly how to affect prices when dealers are marking up or marking down certain vehicle models. So there's a very delayed reaction for most legacy automakers trying to figure out, okay, is this working, or do we need to lower prices, or is there too much demand? Do we need to raise prices? There's a lot of middle steps that Tesla doesn't have to worry about because they can just set a price and see exactly how many orders come in or how many orders don't come in. So it's interesting to me to finally see Tesla be a little bit more transparent now and say maybe people will jump more at the order if they know that it's temporary. And I actually think this is a genius way of getting it to work. You know, I complain about Teslas a lot, whether it be the communication or the build quality or setting unrealistic expectations. But one thing that I will give them credit for is figuring out how to move inventory and how to secure more profits. And I think it's pretty obvious that because of the refreshed Model 3, lots of people are kind of hesitant to buy Model Ys now because they feel like, okay, the Model Y is the only Tesla that still has stalks behind the wheel. It's the only Tesla that doesn't have a rear-mounted display for the backseat passengers. It's the only Tesla that doesn't have ventilated seats. Tesla's bragging and boasting left and right about how cool the new refreshed Model 3 is, that everyone's like, okay, then Model Y must not be too far behind, so I don't want to buy one right now. So much so that Tesla has actually started sending out emails to everybody that works at their sales centers, telling them with explicit instruction to tell all potential buyers that walk in that there will not be a Model Y refresh at any time in 2024. I don't think that's necessarily legally binding, but Project Highland started as a rumor in that it ended up being true, and the same people who reported on Project Highland are currently reporting on Project Juniper, which of course involves just bringing all of the great upgrades we got on the Model 3 over to the Model Y. So I think there's good reason why a lot of people are waiting, but sometimes a good deal is just too good to pass up. And I think it's pretty smart of Tesla to say, okay, we're cutting prices right now, but they are limited time only. At least from other YouTubers I've talked to or business owners I've talked to in the past, letting people know that there's a limited time offer usually pushes a bit more urgency to get more butts in seats and to get more people considering buying. And it also might make the shareholders feel slightly more comfortable knowing that, okay, this is not a permanent price reduction. We're just doing this for a couple of weeks. Try to move a few Model Ys out of inventory, but then we go back up to that original pricing. But I absolutely think this is Tesla trying to capitalize on the concept of FOMO, or the fear of missing out. And it's not just about being transparent. Like, absolutely, this is another marketing stunt, but I'm curious if it's actually going to work. And I think we're going to find out if it's working or not based on if Tesla starts doing this again. I could even visualize a situation where the interest rates start going down again, so Tesla starts to feel ready to start raising prices, so they start warning people in advance that, hey, Model Y price is going to go up by $3,000 in the next 5 weeks, so you better get your order in right now. That's just enough fear to get a lot of people starting to move money around a little bit, like, okay, I didn't think my down payment was ready, but if I can save money by taking delivery sooner, I guess I will. We kind of saw saw Tesla do this with Elon in the past talking about full self-driving price increases, but now, of course, I don't think that's working anymore. When you're addressing a market that is wanting to pay $35,000 for their Model Y, you're gonna have a hard time selling them on $12,000 for some software beta features. So, of course, full self-driving still needs a pricing rework, but during this awkward pre-refresh phase, it's gonna be interesting in 2024, I think, to see what kinds of perks and selling points Tesla comes up with to get more Model Ys out the door. I've been to a few sales centers recently, and I can tell you, they're kind of filling up with inventory. They've got more Model Ys, I think, than they can sell right now. It's not necessarily because the Model Y is a bad product. It's just a lot of people waiting for the refresh, and of course, Q1 is a seasonably more weak quarter. There's less people buying cars this time of year, and sales actually might still be very strong, if not stronger than what they were in the past, but the difference is Tesla is now building more Model Ys than they ever have before. Fremont is cranking them out like no tomorrow, and Giga Texas is slowly ramping up production as well. And of course, Giga Berlin and Giga Shanghai are taking care of the Model Y demand in those markets. So we've got two pretty huge factories in the US that are just pumping out Model Ys, and because we're building more than ever before, that means that the Model Y is higher in supply than ever before, and therefore relatively lower in demand in a lot of ways than ever before. Everybody who wanted one has got one, so now Tesla is kind of having to jump outside of the enthusiast market and try to sell some everyday people on the subject. But do you guys think they should be advertising more? Do you think a Super Bowl ad would have helped more? Or are you more in favor of Tesla sweetening the deal with price cuts or throwing in some more perks? I think by the end of 2024, I wouldn't be surprised if they start throwing in, hey, free premium connectivity for a year or 2 years. If they get really desperate, they could start pushing lifetime premium connectivity and 6 months of free charging or a year of free charging, or that's going to be pretty expensive in terms of electricity and encourage a lot of customers to clog up superchargers, which are probably going to be clogging up with non-Teslas here pretty soon with the CCS adapter. So a cheaper solution that probably won't do them much harm, I would say start giving away full self-driving. It could be a year or 2 years worth, or if you really want to move some inventory, start letting people have lifetime FSD for free in the event that they order a Model Y specifically within a certain time frame. I think that might actually start getting some cars out the doors, but what do you guys think Tesla should do given this oversupply situation and the fact that it's a pre-refresh, so there's very likely a lot of people that are either going with the Model 3 because it's just an objectively better, cooler vehicle now, or a lot of people waiting for the Project Juniper refresh, which I think we'll see in the United States in early 2025, probably see it in China before the end of 2024. Based on Tesla's careful wording to the sales team, there will be no Model Y refresh for the remainder of this year within North America. All your thoughts and predictions, let me know what you're thinking down in the comments below, and thank you to everybody else supporting this channel directly. Seriously, helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again, have an excellent rest of your day.